Mercedes-Benz inventory is growing. We're also seeing they suffered a drastic 2/3 reduction in overall sales, and about a 4.6% profit margin is all they're getting now. Drastic measures. CFO Wilhelm is actually saying that we're going to have to take some very aggressive measures. Well, Mercedes-Benz is not unique. And of course, we've seen the same problem with Volkswagen. Volkswagen closing down plants, possibly losing tens of thousands of workers. And clearly, Mercedes, Volkswagen, and every other manufacturer is feeling the burn in this transition to electrification. When you even talk about manufacturers from Italy, for example, even Ferrari and some of the premier brands from overseas, you're also hearing the struggles there. People are not as interested in buying these highly complex vehicles. And while they're absolutely amazing and every argument or measurement could be made to say that they're the best vehicles that a lot of these car manufacturers are ever making, the sad reality is with all of this complex designs, technology, touch screens, and all of this extra tech hybridization tacked into a very complex vehicle brand like Mercedes or Ferrari or Volkswagen, just means a lot of people are less excited about taking a chance. And even less people are looking at buying into the electric vehicle segment. Now, Mercedes is starting to feel the real burn, and they're saying, well, there's some 91,000 workers protected essentially from, through contracts from employment issues. The fact remains is there are a lot of contracts that are potentially looming, and there could be some major layoffs. There could be a lot of people looking for work. Why? Well, it doesn't take very long. When you check Mercedes car lots these days, a lot of the product line has seemed to lose touch with the consumer. You look at some of the AMG products where you had V8s before, now they go with a Turbo 4 and a hybrid. A lot of people are disappointed. We look at the Chinese market having a major impact on vehicles like the Model or the S-Class, as well as the EQS. We also notice the EQ, EQS, EQE vehicles of every sort in Mercedes is trying to get thinned out, trimmed down, and Mercedes realizes that a lot of its base clientele was really not interested in that. And so that was a big part of these falling sales. It was Mercedes-Benz trying to thin that out, push them out, and slow down production or output of a lot of these electrified vehicles. While they are hopeful that they're able to sell more vehicles coming up, they claim that they're strategically placed to adopt this electrified market or move into this electrified market within about 10 years. They in fact remain more consistent with the idea of switching back more to the internal combustion vehicles or hybrid type technology and finding this sort of halfway house approach. They're looking at possibly trimming down costs, none of which maybe begin and end with layoffs, reduction of models. They're actually looking at reducing the number of models, streamlining a lot of their production, eliminating specific models that may be popular for a lot of consumers. But with sales dropping, or wait a minute, not dropping, falling off a cliff, there's no doubt Mercedes-Benz is struggling. Again, you look at any manufacturer these days, when you look at even Ferrari and the SF90, absolutely wonderful, but it has on paper everything going for it. But the sad reality is when people are investing $500,000, $750,000, $1 million in a car, and then they turn the page and 2 years later that car is worth 30% less, that's a hard pill to swallow. And that's going with every single one of these European manufacturers. And so this is what's starting to happen with car brands like Mercedes-Benz with the quality, going down. In my own personal opinion, we own a C-Class ourselves. And we've actually had some substantial issues. Issues, in fact, that the local vendors and dealers aren't able to solve. Issues with all kinds of codes and warning lights that they thought they had it fixed. They said there was latching failures and latching modes. They reset it only for it to reappear later on. It seems to draw them for a blank. And it's these questionable results and this high level of technology and integration that has a lot of buyers really second guessing the need or desire for these unpredictable vehicles, these vehicles that people don't really need to have, they want to have. And now that transitions and this conversation comes from, perspective of the market. We're seeing the market shift. We're seeing a lot of manufacturers saying, we don't need all of these cars anymore because we're not able to sell them. And so you're getting this, this conglomeration and this collaboration, between the networks and the dealers saying, look, you know what? We've got to make some adjustments. We clearly know our pricing's a little high now. And this is actually now imposing on the time where we're starting to see some of these price cuts. Because up till now, let's face it, all we saw were price adjustments. We saw incentives. You might have seen $5,000 off, or loyalty incentives. Mercedes-Benz was offering all kinds of small incentives. You might get a slightly better interest rate. They might trim you down there. But they were never really that strong of incentives. And ultimately, the major money talk comes from the readjustment of the OEM factory pricing. And that comes in the form of the sticker price, MSRP. And without the adjustments at MSRP, all of these $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 discounts are really a minor, frugal, almost an insulting attempt at getting people to buy their product. Mercedes-Benz, with the quality challenge that they've had in the last little while, and we've seen stock prices nosedive, we've certainly seen sales take a major fall. It shows that Mercedes-Benz is starting to have to really look inside internally and readdress as quality challenges, streamlining, give the consumers what they actually want. Not a Turbo 4 with a hybrid, calling it an AMG drivetrain. No, deliver on what the consumer is actually looking for. Now, while they are looking for, opportunities in China, and they are hopeful that they're able to expand that market at some point, as they are still consistent with the ideology that they are considered a luxury brand, the fact remains is the idea of becoming more localized in their manufacturing processes seems to be more the focus. That way, instead of having all these satellite manufacturing facilities, if they can bring it more localized, they may be a little bit more in luck. Reduce costs and control the quality challenges that they've had, because a lot of the quality issues could have been coming from products that were built in Mexico, built in other parts of the globe. Now, Mercedes is really stretching, and they're putting a lot of faith in a lot of their new products. There's a revised S-Class and a GLE that's proposed to come out as well in short order, and as well an electric version of both the C-Class and GLC models. They're also looking at revising their space and the amount of vehicles that they have in the compact segment from 7 to 4 different models. They're clearly streamlining. They're also holding a very positive attitude towards what the market looks like in China. Even though they've lost a lot of market share to a lot of the Chinese buyers, they're really keeping their fingers crossed for some of the affluent buyers that they step back into the brand. So there's a sort of rebranding and a refresh that they're trying to take a run at, hoping to bring buyers back into the brand. There's also a refresh on the CLA for 24 with the new revised MMA system, and it should offer the extended driving range and a revised Mercedes-Benz operating system that should be featuring the new Level 2 autonomous driving technology. So while everything looks good and glorious and Mercedes-Benz is still trying to forge ahead, there seems to be this shift back and sort of hold off on the idea of creating these electric vehicles. Rather, they put a little bit more effort again back into hybrid vehicles, hybrid drivetrains, and find that halfway place. Internal combustion engines, they haven't given on them yet, and we all knew this would happen. I've told you this for some time. While a lot of these manufacturers were really hoping for this to work out, it clearly hasn't. And a lot of these Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Porsche, VW Group in general have struggled with the sales of a lot of their electric vehicles, are now slowing down the output of a lot of this manufacturing and staking the stance more of, a little bit blended operations with assortments of different vehicles, both hybrid, electric, as well as ICE. So in the midst of all of these profits taking a nosedive, is Mercedes able to get this together? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I sure hope so. It'd be great to see some cool cars coming out from the brand again. Definitely check out that and that. You're going to want to see those videos. They're going to tell you a lot of what's going on. Hope to see each and every one of you on the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.